We're not politically correct, we just have common sense.
Unscripted, unfiltered, unfaltering. Show of Support's Hunt for Heroes offers tributes and true stories of remarkable courage.
If these terrorists could come in your bedroom, they'd kill you, your wife, and your kids. And that's what these men are fighting to protect us from, these murdering idiots. And they're taking them out so that we don't have to deal with them over here.
Show of Support started it all, just after the shock and awe bound a nation together. Now, years of footage portraying wounded veterans, deer stands, and standing ovations. Hunt for Heroes, that started as one man's way to say thanks, is now a series that many say is way overdue.
I ain't never felt like that before, and I want to feel that again.
It's just a raw emotion.
They left us being loved and being honored for the heroes that they are.
We still have 40,000 injured troops.
If you threaten our people and our way of life, we will find you wherever you may be hiding, in the place you feel most safe, and we'll kill you in your own bedroom. Thank you for being a country worth fighting for. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
It's going to take a while to get around to all of them, but there's no quitting. It'll never stop as long as I'm breathing.
Seeing the country and driving out here was cool. I've never been to West Texas before. Texas is beautiful.
Thank you. Thanks.
These people have set the bar as far as veteran support across the entire country.
We have to take a leap of faith when we come out to events and do that kind of, because we really don't know what we're getting ourselves into.
It's where the landscape changes from the flat, dusty plains to rolling hills, cactus and trees that barely have a chance against the never-ending drought and relentless winds. This is West Texas, where every year this remote pasture is transformed into Camp Freedom for 20 American combat heroes. This is hunting's version of an incredible show of support, all started by this man, Terry Johnson.
Big buck down. You ready?
Yep.
The military is made up of rituals and rich traditions. And one ritual here at Camp Freedom is simply putting a check by each warrior's name after they complete the mission of taking a great whitetail buck. It's the final touch to an exciting 5 days in West Texas.
Waiting for the shot, I'd like to go back and watch it, because what seemed like 5 minutes probably wasn't but 30 seconds.
Thanks, man.
Ooh, look at the brows on that baby.
Got some pretty brow tines, doesn't it? It does seem like it may not ever happen. Thank you very much for having us out. It just makes the experience that much better, you know.
As the 5-day event rolls on, one by one, at the skinning shed and out in remote pastures, American combat heroes soak in the moments we, as patriots and as deer hunters, love the most.
Gentlemen, start your cameras.
Those first few minutes just after you've killed the biggest buck you've ever seen. On this edition of Show of Support Hunt for Heroes, we'll hear the story of Al Hatton, injured in an explosion and lucky to be alive.
There I was.
There I was. It's humbling. It really is.
We'll also hear the story of Josh Krieger, a quiet hero who lost his eye to an IED, but replaced it with a glass eye with the American flag, an act of ultimate defiance to the enemy.
Holy crap. I gotta shake your hand right now.
I think I do have to brag a little bit that in the 12 years that Terry's been doing this program, no one's killed a deer anywhere close to that distance, so the bar's been set now.
This man's long-range shooting experience with the United States Marines comes in handy. Dennis Durr celebrates this last hour, last minute, last chance whitetail buck.
We came here as 20 different people, but we're all leaving here friends, and that's what it's all about.
The stories and the deer hunts with 3 American combat heroes. As the Show of Support Hunt for Heroes continues. Stay with us.
I've never seen anything like it before, ever.
At the western edge of the legendary Texas Hill Country, after 8 years of intensive wildlife management, Lonesome Dove Ranch offers trophy deer hunts for the upcoming fall season. Lonesome Dove Ranch, where each hunt is one-on-one with a spacious lodge, Texas-style meals, and opportunities for rifle or archery hunts. See our website at huntlonesomedove.com and make plans to join us for this first season of Texas whitetail hunting at its best. huntlonesomedove.com.
What's your message? Century Graphics and Sign in Midland can help you convey it. Century Graphics and Sign offers the very best in screen printing, interior and exterior signs, embroidery, custom vinyl graphics, helping you increase safety, promoting your company, showing your school spirit, helping you look cool. Century Graphics and Sign, 501 West Industrial in Midland. Find us on the web at centurygs.com or like us on Facebook.
At Security Bank, we know the industries of this region, and we have the capital and the strength to fuel them. At Security Bank, we bring a team of experts to every challenge. With nearly a century of service, we have a solid record of success and top performance ratings in the industry. We're your partner, and we're going to be around for the long haul. Security Bank, solutions.
It's a well-known fact the people of West Texas know the importance of hard work, determination, and drive. For years, TCO Field Services has been a part of the expanding petroleum industry. Another well-known fact is the admiration West Texans have for America's troops. Plain and simple, military heroes don't have a better friend than the hard-working folks in West Texas. At TCO, we never lose sight of the job done by our military, keeping us safe here in West Texas.
I used to deer hunt when I was a kid with my dad. Went in the military. Never hunted the entire time I was in the military for 9 years, 10 years.
It's a sunny, windy November afternoon in West Texas for American combat hero Josh Trigger and his hunting guide Kenneth Smith.
I guess when I walk into a blind, I'm always looking. So I'm looking for the best avenue. Usually I say, okay, well, the deer are gonna come out this way. So I'm always trying to get the feel for where I think the game movement's gonna be, how it's gonna work. So I'm kind of running that through my head. I've always wanted to be in the military. I guess it was just the right path for me. It was just the path that I chose. I always wanted to serve my country. I thought there was no higher honor. I got injured in February 28th of 2005 by a roadside bomb. We were convoying from Fallujah, Iraq to Baghdad International Airport. Kind of came to an area in the road that was a choke point. All the vehicles had to stop, slow down to make this turn. Made the turn, and as soon as we were starting to accelerate, the bomb detonated 10 meters from the vehicle. I was in the turret of the Humvee, so the blast came that way a lot more, and I was most exposed at that point. I lost vision in my left eye. Initially, I just lost vision. I didn't lose the eye. I took a massive amount of shrapnel to my left hand, and then I had multiple, facial injuries or whatever, and then I took 2 pieces of shrapnel to both sides of my neck, and they both pierced an artery. I was basically blind at that point. I don't know how much time went by, but I heard a helo land, came in, they wheeled me out to the helo, got me on the bird takes off. Last thing I remember.
Josh lost his eye and replaced it with the American flag in round glass fashion. It only seems like minutes in the blind when Smitty spots movement coming through the trees from the left.
I didn't even see him because he was on the left side. I can't see out of my left side anyway. Smitty's like, he's a shooter, he's a shooter. Then I started getting a little buck fever, I'm not gonna lie. I started getting a little racing heart, you know. I was like, oh, okay. So set the rifle up, get it out there. Smitty's telling me he's a shooter. So I get my crosshairs on him as he's walking across. Gets into a couple of openings, I'm kind of following him. I just want to make sure it's clean, painless, done, and over. So I was kind of waiting for him to hold up, stop, but he didn't do that. I kind of rested my rifle back, like, okay, we're going to be here for a while. We had plenty of time. Sooner or later, he was going to come out one way or the other.
If he goes out to the road, Josh, you take him when he gets to the road.
When he came out kind of broadside to us.
Just like Smitty promised, the buck comes back out, further to the right, headed for the pasture fence. Josh's crosshairs are crowded with the limbs of so many trees.
When you get that deer in your sights, you're always trying to make it the cleanest, fastest kill you can possibly do for the animal. So I think that puts more pressure than anything else.
Oh, don't turn that way.
I want to make sure this is a clean kill and the animal doesn't suffer. That's number one thing.
You took him. Good shot, Josh, good shot.
It was quick, painless for him. That's what I wanted.
All right.
I wanted to make sure we found him right away. I mean, I saw him go down, so I knew he was over there, but until I lay eyes on him and put my hands on him, I don't know for sure. So I got up there, we found him right away, and then I looked at him and was like, it was just a beautiful deer. It was an awesome animal.
You kind of hold that.
Josh Krieger is in that place so many of us have found ourselves. What do you say? What do you do? Smitty sets him up for a photo session with plenty of daylight left in this far-flung West Texas wind-blown pasture. After 5 days, this is what this American hero came so far to find.
You're kind of blown away. You really don't know what to say, what to think. You're just blown away. I mean, I don't think any words can describe it, but it's inspiring, and it's cool to see, but it's cool to be a part of too.
By all Texas standards, it's very cold as American combat hero Al Hatton and guide Jonathan Murray enter this ground blind. Little do they know, this is about to become one of the shortest morning deer hunts in show of support history. The frozen landscape makes a perfect backdrop for a story of survival.
I was injured in an IED blast. You know, my wounds that I sustained were nothing in relation to the other guys in the vehicle, and you know, I oftentimes wondered how I was able to walk away like I did, and you know, don't like to use the word lucky, but I really feel I was blessed. And I don't know. I just took shrapnel to the basically Forrest Gump wound to my backside. One of the passengers was killed, and the driver and passenger had some traumatic brain injuries. Yeah, looking back, I probably should have been a lot worse than I was. I keep looking out before it gets light, trying to see if I can pick up a deer, and then, just like a storybook, deer comes walking out to the right side, and I didn't feel cold, didn't feel tired, I was ready.
It's the last morning of the entire hunt. In just a few hours, Al and his 19 combat hero hunters will leave Camp Freedom to return home. Just inside legal shooting light, Al and Jonathan decide they're not going to chance letting this buck move off. Like so many before, Al is mesmerized by the brow tines on this buck.
I knew he was a shooter as soon as I seen them brow tines. And he had everything I was looking for in a good, mature Texas deer. Exactly what I was hoping for when I came out here. I expected to shoot and get a little bit of reaction from that deer, but that deer, it went down immediately. It didn't go anywhere. Took maybe half a step, and that was it.
Keep that gun loaded just in case.
All right. Jonathan's a great guy. He might have got frustrated with me a couple times. We seen a ton of deer, a ton of bucks, just not the mature deer we're looking for. And he continued to get up every morning and come out and brave the cold and wind with us. Look at that brow tine.
It gets bigger the closer we get. Does he have a kicker on it? No, it's his ear.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful.
Look, you see that? Look how wide that head is, that forehead right there.
He's mature.
Yeah.
Very good job.
That's a real good deer.
Got a little character right there.
He got mask goes all the way.
He does.
Yeah. I was really excited to get up there and, pick up them horns and know that he ain't going anywhere.
Or hit that showrunner way out.
It was a long 5 days, but a short final morning. The frozen landscape makes a perfect setting for this show of support hunt for heroes. Al Hatton will have his buck mounted and hung on the wall.
Let's go get the pickup. We'll come back. We'll come back and get this guy.
Sounds good.
A reminder that so many folks in West Texas honor his sacrifice and his decision to wear the uniform of the greatest military force in the world. When there's 20 American combat heroes spread out over so much country, it's amazing how many take their hunt to the last window of opportunity. And that just happens to fall on the coldest morning of the year for this part of Texas. United States Marine Dennis Durr and his guide Aaron O'Donnell braved the cold for this last hunt on the last day.
Okay. I grew up in Pennsylvania where it snows, and I've been through blizzards and stuff, but that was hard. That was rough. In the last 2 days out here, yesterday it was probably 40 degrees with 24-mile-per-hour winds. I look like I'm sunburned, but I'm not. It's windburn. And a lot of people wouldn't believe that here in Texas, that it gets that cold, but it was pretty cold.
As the landscape lightens up, the frozen ground adds promise to a hunt that's been mostly warm and windy. Dennis and Aaron sit patiently and quiet, a far cry from Dennis's days in Afghanistan.
I fought what was called the Battle of Marcia in February of 2010. I was with 3rd Battalion, 6th Marines. Our battalion and 1st Battalion, 6th Marines did the major assault on the city of Marcia. Those were the worst days of my life, but ironically it's turned out to the best days of my life, surviving that and coming home. I was wounded in an IED blast on June 28th of 2010. The only things I really remember vividly about it was I was in a vehicle and I was talking to my commander that was in a vehicle behind me. I remember just talking to him. I can't remember what the conversation was about, but the next thing I knew, I was just engulfed in a fireball. And that was really my last memory from that. And from my injuries from that, I ended up being medically retired in 2012. Hadn't seen a whole lot of deer coming in the last few days out here, so kind of reaching for a prayer. It was hoping that we'd get a lot of movement with the cold. Unfortunately, there really wasn't a lot of movement. So after about 9 o'clock, we decided we need to try something different.
All right.
So we started to move through some different pastures, and we ended up kicking up a really nice 8-point buck and a doe. And once we kicked him up, we figured, well, hey, let's just put a spot and stalk on him and see if we can get close to him. We walked probably, it felt like a mile, and the temperature warmed up at this time and everything, and we crested a hilltop, and we didn't really see those again, but they had also scared some deer further down the pasture.
We might get another shot there if we can get another angle at them.
So it's 3 bucks in one.
You could have taken this shot through here at that
I
buck.
couldn't see that buck.
Yeah, but I mean, if you could have seen him, because he was dead through those trees, standing broadside the whole entire time, that wasn't 200 yards.
I looked at my watch, it was about 11:30, and the guide said, hey, there's a buck down there. Can you see him? So I looked. Because we were spotting and stalking so quickly getting out of the truck, I didn't have my binoculars with me. So I looked through my optic, and I could tell it was a buck, but I couldn't tell how big he was. And I just kind of, I knew to myself that I could make this shot. I knew we were at least 500 yards away, but I knew I could make the shot if I got the chance.
Hunting guide Andy Cobe has joined Dennis and Aaron. That buck is way off, but this is going to be the only elevation they'll have.
You ever shot that far?
I took my jacket off. I formed a little pile of rocks to kind of get myself a really good prone supported position. Folded my jacket up, laid over the pile of rocks, and got down. And I kind of just said a prayer real quick that please let me make this shot.
I gotta shake your hand right now.
I've never shot at a deer that far, about 550 yards. I've never shot that rifle before. I didn't even get to sight it in. The Midland SWAT team sighted in for me, so I was a little nervous about that, but they did a great job because it worked.
I gotta be honest, I don't know how big he is because I could barely see his antlers from the scope. I just knew I got a few inches above his back.
He's gonna be a good deer because he's pretty impressive from 500 yards.
Getting down there, the deer, at that point, it didn't matter how big the buck was. It was a nice 8-point deer, but everything that led up to putting my hands on that deer today, this whole week, the camaraderie, the fellowship, just everything out here these last couple of days with these guys, getting to hear their story, them getting to hear my story.
It was a hunt that would stretch the patience and stretch the barrel of a United States Marine. Dennis Durr admires this buck, now in the last few minutes before they depart the ranch for good. But it's the other guys back at camp that fill his mind on this incredible moment that truly is hunting's finest hour.
One of the biggest things I'm going to take away from this trip is to continue to live my life for all the guys that lost theirs. I'm very fortunate since I've been out. I've got to do a lot of really awesome things, but I know my brothers upstairs are looking down, and they're helping me get those opportunities. They're making sure that I live to the fullest, and I don't know what God's plan is for me yet, but I still get to live for them, and I'm going to honor that.